Okay, good evening to welcome. We sincerely apologize for jumping in here late this year. Okay, let me stop this music here. The guy in charge here, again, that's the Minnesota politician. He actually going to be in charge. We're going to be here. The tax is given because I'm receiving enormous backing of this guy moderation here. So as usual, this is LPR. Everybody should be given the opportunity to do what is right. And of course, a lot of competent people here. Let me make sure this audio here is good here. Okay, I think I'm much audible now. So folks, let's start it. I'm going to be introducing the moderator very shortly. We are going to be part, but he is the captain of this vessel here tonight. So I don't know how Dulake Amos George, the ANC folks, going to manage it. My last name. Okay, folks, we sincerely apologize. Let's get the ball rolling to right here. Okay, good evening, folks. I'm ALPHONSO ZEAN SOE of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. So I'm going to be bringing in our chief moderator for tonight's program. We are going to be right under his wing. So Mr. Goyo is a senior political analyst, scholar, and also a supporter of Councillor Tiawon Gonglo. What's going on here? Don't tell me say that Amos Josh. Okay. Quickly yet, time is fast spent. Let me bring in Mr. Goyo here this evening from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Mr. Goyo, good evening. It's all yours. This flight, this airline, you are the pilot of the captain. You are the captain here this evening here. So, are you sleeping? Will you even start picking up from the wrong way here?
No, that Westward airline got me fly out today. So.
I never knew you so hilarious like that. Well, we won. We won.
Where's what airline? We could have crashed. So
Okay. I want to leave that one there. Okay. Here we go here. It's all yours. Take it away.
I appreciate it. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to LPR TV, LPR Radio, LPR Online. Again, we apologize for coming late. We've been working on scheduling. But because we love our crew so much, we love our fans so much, we decided Mr. So is caught between the scissor and the hard place today, and so we had to make do. We're here tonight, and we want to say thank you wherever you're watching us from. For those of you who usually spend your hard-earned money in Liberia to buy data and listen to us, we say thank you. We appreciate you. And for everybody else watching us from Europe, from North America, South America, everywhere in the world, we say thank you. Thank you for always being loyal, and thank you for listening to our tabata and holding us in check. So tonight, Mr. So, we're going to try to run an open mic tonight.
Okay.
So I'm hoping folks can come on. There's no topic off limit. The only topic that's off limit is man cussing. We don't do man cussing on this network. But you are at liberty to come and discuss whatever is on your mind. Put that in the chat, put that in the comment section. I'm hoping that the analysts can join us as soon as possible. But again, I'm just going to be the face of this thing. The brain and the engineer is going to be Mr. So. He's going to be in the background and doing all of the things he has to do. So, Mr. So, how's your evening been so far?
What, as you see my location, I need not to mention here. They say we still wanted to come to Ducor. That's the situation. And sometimes you have your own people thinking that it could be a good thing. They always put you between your tough lines. But, that's part of our responsibility. I would say God money us.
I like the banner on your name. I'm just saying that a network of reliability and trust, and that's what we're trying to do here. And it'll be reliable. Come on, we tell the people we're going to come on. Be reliable with discussing the issue, and be trustworthy. Lay it on the line and tell people what the prism through which we are discussing. You always say Cesar Goya. He's supposed to get one gonglo, so people know through what prism I'm making my communication, my comments, and that way they can trust what's coming out because we're not hiding anything. So I like that. That's the first time I'm saying that today.
Yeah, let me tell you the fun before you get on, right? Mm-hmm. My director here. This country is a country of law and order. I'm not going to call her name. She's been off for like almost a month, FLMA. Mm-hmm. So. Actually, today is a return date. She came back thinking I'm going to get a relief. Or go look, some email came, bam. Oh, you shouldn't be here. You've been off for 1 week, so we need to get some police clearance background check. I say, you kidding me? Oh. But on the other hand, she was like, oh, but I you know what? I still want to go and relax. Like, you know what? I'm tired doing this. Is it possible that we can talk to HR? Let me hire some people from Liberia and they can work remotely. And the HR people who still working remotely. They're like, are you crazy? They're going to listen to you. I said, oh, no, but they're working remotely. Why I can't hire my Liberians, people back home who looking for job and people still here sitting there? She was like, I'm out of here. But anyway, it is why it is, but I want to thank you so much for stepping in that we're still going to be here.
So can the police report the police investigation be done remotely too? Can we get Patrick Suru to do that investigation from Liberia for you?
Who's going to be the, where would our headquarters be to do that?
Yeah, my man, you asked a political question. But thank you.
My last name, okay.
So what's on your? Because I know you're not going to be a lot interactive. So
no, I kind of like set up 1 or 2 things. I'm still going to be on, but you are still in charge of the web.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So
I will be on.
What's on your plate for the night? While we await the other panelists to come on, what's on your plate for the night?
Okay. You see what is strolling here. I'm getting concerned. There are a lot of conflicting information we are hearing. What really went wrong in that compound of the former Chief Justice? Too much of Tabata, Dennis Jassy, too much of Tabata and Yabaya ongoing now. So, and I'm trying to kind of like go through it as well, but we yet to validate it. But some of the things that are involved is quite interesting. We'll get to them, but let's go to Dr. Toto and see what he has on his plate as well.
Yeah, good evening, gentlemen. The moderator, Sissy, in charge. Sissy, I think you mute her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm hearing you guys.
Okay, yeah. I mean, what
So,
is plate?
Dr. Toto, well, I think that issue with the counselor, the former Chief Justice, deservedly so, has taken over everything now in Liberia.
No,
Uh,
definitely.
but to Mr. So points though, I think there's been too much kpakpakpa has entered this whole thing because there was a lot of missteps and false statements and misstatements, and now the gossip has just and everybody's is taking their political cheers now. This is no longer, I think, to me, a credible investigation of a crime. It now becomes a political football, which is very scary. But Dr. Toto, nice to see you on tonight, sir.
Yeah, definitely so. Good to see you too. You know, the police just went on and accepted people emotion. Let me just so uh, they just accept people emotion, and they just capitalize on it to carry on investigation. You know, I don't know I don't know if the justice system, the way we understand how the justice system work, and people don't really know how these things work. I don't know what you saw from Page Africa today. Uh, the former RUF general Gabriel Massacre that was tried in Finland. You know, he was one of those. They say well, he was one of those notorious guys under the RUF. He carried on about atrocity in Liberia, in low-fighting Liberia war. And he was convicted in Finland, and he was acquitted because the brought witnesses from Liberia are read through. They said that even though this man committed crime, but the evidence was not, is not sufficient to convict him. So he was acquitted in Finland, you know, a former Ari. So when it comes to the court system, the way how the lawyer, I think what the laborer was discussing on the show that was discussing about Standard Waters indictment. And the laborer said that, look, we should not rush to make judgment because the way in which the court, the lawyer, everybody interpret the document about indictment is different from the way the ordinary male honors and interpret it. So when you see all those noise coming up about Valley Telly, Vreda, the Chief Justice, the police, Jefferson Koji, it just made the whole thing confused. You know, I think on the enter court, they will know.
But adding on to that though, Dr. Toto, and then before I go back to Mr. So, adding on to that is the childishness that have entered the conversation, right?
Yeah.
On the one hand, you have some major actors in the opposition bloc behaving like they've never been to school and they don't know how the rule of law works. They're drawing this line directly from the crimes that Vadi Tele supposedly committed in Lofa County, drawing a line directly from Lofa County, from according to Mr. Wozy, from John Siama Town, directly into the living room in the sleeping quarters of the Chief Justice. I don't know how they draw such a connection at the right line. But then on the other side, like the liberal always say, the CDC is the gift that keeps giving. They always put their foot in their mouth, right? On the other side, you have this thing about Marwa Malu declaring 7 days of mourning, and they're going to go to Maryland County to sympathize with the girls, the deceased real parents. And then Jefferson Koji giving $5,000. People have accused you. You think giving $5,000 does not make people to think you're trying to muddy the water? And then, as if to say the clown show was not enough, here comes Arthur Johnson, right? Councillor Arthur Johnson, where all of the Pakpakpa and the Tabata. What do you think, though? How do you think this thing is going to go? Is it going to be healthy for our judicial system? If anybody is being taken to court, would it be seen as a credible investigation given all of the things that are being infused into this? Has this politicization made the work of the Liberian National Police harder? and even the work of the Solicitor General is going to prosecute whomever or whoever the thing did his thing, even much more difficult. Dr. Toto, you're muted.
I think it has made it work more difficult, but I don't think the police had to give on it because the police is the one that will prosecute or prepare the case to go to court. So based upon what they have in here, then they just send the case. Then they just send the case to court. You know, they have to key witnesses that be part of the case here. You know, and we are not here the police talking about here. First of all, the pepper spray that was used by the CJ, the former CJ. Where's the pepper spray? Is the pepper spray in the CJ here? Is this in the police? Is it in police custody? Those are things that the public need to be aware of because the police have taken over the case and that. So I think for where the case are landed at, I don't think the police need to give out on the case here to say there have been so many gossip about the case and also the evidence they have. Let it send it to court and let the judges, the lawyer, the solicitor general, they all go there to argue their case. And the librarian will get to know where the facts lie. But for them to just sit on the case and don't move the case forward, then they will try to make it more difficult to be prosecuted in the future.
So, Mr. Soe, let me put a spin on this for you before you answer. Has there been any eyewitness identification of a suspect? Who is the suspect or who are the suspects? Can the Liberian National Police now, after taking this lead from Facebook, to invite Vali Tele for as a person of interest, would they be credible now if they say, oh, the information we got led us somewhere else and it's not Vali Tele anymore? And can they arrest somebody else without it looking like they're trying to get somebody to take the blame after all of this has been going on?
Look, the police did something. They jumped the guns in bringing Vali Tele to in public domain based on the kind of red meat that came out. Oh, this is the history of this guy. And so we began to judge him of his past history. How many of us being judged of our past history now for us to be taken seriously? I think what happened, Sissy, the police, it's of a result when there is some sort of less confidence and you want to do over than what you should be doing. They are prime individual people of interest. I won't say suspect, people of interest they're supposed to talk to. I am wondering, and we getting some other information. If these information are true, then it's a potential problem, perhaps to the former Chief Justice of the Republic of Liberia. And here why, based on what she provided and things that we are hearing, I'm wondering whether the police have had the opportunity, the deceased. You see here, when something happened, they go beyond the borderland. The reason they are doing that, evidence is precise. You are a mathematician. You can only have 1 + 1 to equal 2. You can't. It's not a song at 1 + 1 = 3. No, that's not what evidence is. So I'm wondering what are they
even say 1 + 1 = 1.
Yeah. So I'm wondering, guys. Whether they have even had a chance to talk to this lady, the deceased boyfriend. We're hearing a lot of information. What is the relationship? All of the people that were found in the home, and what bring into questioning, and that's my view, for the Chief Justice to come out to say there's an assassination attempt. And here, what we are hearing from other sources outside of the police area, I'm not sure how true this information is, but other people are talking to her. How can this be an assassination attempt? Somebody, you have come to assassinate me in my house, and you pass me to go jump into a fight with somebody? So how can you come to that to say it was an assassination attempt? And Dr. Toto asked the questions. Where is this spray here? So is the Chief Justice knew somebody was coming? Or how many times that spray is usually around that area? Where is the spray? Where is the knife? We learned that the knife, it was they water it down. Whoever did that to destroy evidence, that's another thing. But The police are holding tight. I think they made a mistake from the onset by just jumping to what came off on the social media, Valley Tele, or taking into the soundbite of Jerome Verda, giving us sort of crazy. I would say crazy because I mean he just have to. But if they talk to this lady, the Chief Justice, and all of the people in the House, they will be able to give us exact what has happened week prior to all of this. Was there any tension built out in the home? Was there any threat? These are different issues. People, the police investigators will always gather. How many of these people there who have their phone? What sort of messages are being going here and there? These are different puzzles they're going to put together to be able to give them a sense of direction. I don't know. I hope they are doing that.
But Mr. So, here's the thing. The evidence gathering, the entire scene was tempered with. The police was, we all said that the police was very lazy in controlling the crime scene or even protecting the crime scene. The Chief Justice, when you listen to her wording, she said she pepper spray. And what people are misunderstanding is when somebody say a pepper spray the person, that it means that all of the pepper spray went into somebody's eyes. When you spray that canister stuff, it goes everywhere, right? And to your question though, when I'm in like Bureau full disclosure, I have pepper spray everywhere because I've been armed before. I got pepper spray like everywhere I sleep. So a lot of Liberians have that. So I think the issue is, sorry people, my daughter making spaghetti for me to eat. Okay, bye. so the question is, to Mr. Soul's point, when Senator Yombli Kanga said that they had advised the Chief Justice not to turn off a phone immediately after the robbery, the killing, they took the Chief Justice phone. The Chief Justice phone was on for about 2 days. And her question to Patrick Studio was, were they tracking? Because apparently even the Chief Justice wanted them to track the phone. But the police did not do that until the phone ran out of current or the person turned it off. So they lost valuable intel. And so my question now is, given everything that's transpired, the police misstep, the Chief Justice, whatever people think as our own misstep, and the police coming out with communication that they have to walk back and then bring it back forward and then walk it back. Can there be a trust in the resolution of this process? Would the public really be convinced that whomever that is arrested and tried will be the rightful person, that people will not say somebody was just made to take the bag? That's the question I'm asking, because with everything that's happening now, it's made a work of the credibility of the outcome, in my mind, very difficult for people to accept. Mr. George, thanks for coming on. So, Dr. Toto, that was the question to you.
Yeah. So
does it make it much more difficult? And I'm talking about in the court of public opinion, for people to have a confidence in the outcome. Can they prosecute Valley Tele without people thinking that the evidence was based off of what Jerome Verdier provided? And can they let Valley Tele go without people still thinking that, oh, they're protecting, those that were accused? It is the police force and the prosecutor's office, are they in the catch-22?
The evidence says no matter how the case is going to land or be prosecuted, there's no trust in the case in the eyes of public opinion. As you listed all the mess up that have took place from the beginning up to present. So if the case lay in court, whoever, even the police come out, the police, the suspect that will be sent to court, there will be no, the case is a done deal. They're going to have no trust in the system, because whoever will be prosecuted, people will say, but we said it. People say we said it. They will say, we have no trust in the police. And the police also make the case difficult from the beginning. The police were the one also take charge of everything here. And the case got more intensified when Verda came out on his Facebook, on his statement to our sister network. Is what really caused the police to react to Verda's statement. Did they contact Verda to ask him on the back door to say, hey, Counselor, you based on grace statement. Can we get some input from you more? But yet, those are things, but they went straight out there on Brother statement and brought people in based upon Brother statement too. We saw Coach came up with press conference also to clear himself. And the police side and with other things. So for me, the case had no confidence in the eyes of public opinion. Wherever it ends, it will just be another gossip that be in the tie again. Those people say we know it. Just before I just end, we saw the former CJ, asking her about the nature of the case here and about the source of evidence. He said that the person that have that soul, they should go to the person. They shouldn't ask her. So how come? Public just got messed up in the whole something here.
Yep. Mr. Josh, I know you're the one person on this platform with a law enforcement background. So welcome. And before I throw you into this conversation, anybody remember during Ellen's, I think was it the first term, this case about Angel Williams? Remember that Angel took by, right? Case. Yeah. Are we now on the same? Is this a parallel that's going to be drawn between this? Is this going to become an issue where a lot of powerful hands are in, and the public is in, and everybody just takes sides, and it becomes a kind of a dot? What's your opinion on that, Mr. Josh?
So Dr. Todo, how you doing, sister? Look, I said it from day one. I said the police, they have undermined this case, and the credibility is at stake. We may not see, from what I'm looking at, a complete logical conclusion to this case. One, the police, there have been too many people in the institution speaking. It had not been coordinated. Mostly kind of get a press release. The police director denied it. The chief investigator of this crime, he had a press conference the other day, is it?
Yeah, I think I listened to that.
I watched it. And let me say on this program, Jefferson Kochi's right was never violated. Councilor Arthur Johnson, he will sue me for this. But Arthur Johnson lied to the public. According to the chief investigator, one, Arthur Johnson said Jefferson was invited. The chief investigator said, no, they never invited Jefferson Kochi. In order, Kochi escorted his employee, which was vindicated, and Kochi offered. So you ask me any question you want to ask me. It was particularly upon that the police said, the investigator said, they asked Jefferson Kochi. So it means that Jefferson Kochi went on his own volition. He was never invited by the police, as alleged by Councilor Johnson. So it means that Jefferson Kochi's right was never violated, because the investigator said they never invited him. He escorted his employee there and said, I'm here, you can ask me any question. So it means that he was never invited. It was Mr. Keita. Valley.
Mr. Keller.
Valley was invited. And Jefferson Kochi decided to escort him. And when he got it, he offered. You see the contradiction there? Now, Valley, I can say Valley right was not violated. Here's the reason. If you have a pedophile in your community, a sex offender in your community, and some crime occurred to that nature, the police will want to talk to the pedophile in that community. It's not a crime, but they want to talk to him because he is a sex offender, and the sex offender a crime has occurred in that community. Here in America, the police will talk to you. They're not accusing you, but they will talk to you. That's it. So Valley Taylor has a background. In fact, there are rumors spreading that he's wanted by the police before this thing yet. I don't know how to read it. So Valley Taylor has a background. So they invited him. When they invited him, it's not a violation of his right. Because of his rap sheet, they invited him. So that was not a violation of his right.
Well, let me push you a little bit now.
Yeah.
In this country, I get it. when you are on parole or you're on probation, you are still in the legal system.
Yes.
You are not completely free. So hold on.
Mhm.
So when you are on probation for a sex crime, your probation officer and whatever, when something of a sex crime nature happen, they come to you to ask you question or invite you sometimes to show up to the police or department. But if a murder occur, they don't go looking for people who are pickpocket people.
No.
So hold on.
Wait.
Valley tell it, what if that is the case? There are so many other commandos, former fighters in Monrovia. Why didn't they invite Prince Johnson? Why didn't they invite my own cousin Yage Koliba? Why didn't they invite General Powers? Why didn't they invite all the other people and went to Valley tell it?
Good.
And so, on it, officer, like Sissy said, I'm using Sissy word here. And to eye on it here, we got to give this a conversation here, a kind of like a holistic approach. Sex offender, they are registered people. So the question now becomes, how many to register, or how many ex-fighters or commandos or sergeant leaders within that proximity of the Chief Justice? So are they saying, or the police, and I agree, the police kick the can down the road because they listen to the narrative and of he, or what his name said, Jerome Verdier, has provided to the world that he has a high core evidence. And I'm really, honestly, for the good of the country, so that all of us will know all of these bad behavior. And mind you, his credibility, and not just only the credibility, but the institution he formerly works for, is on the line. If he can't come out, because more or less he should be able to provide intel or information to the investigators now. He shouldn't be quiet. He shouldn't come and say something here and throw a flame and just go quiet. Then it's a problem. So since he got the clear picture, or maybe somebody were relaying when all of these things were happening, he needs to come up with that sort of information too. But I mean, to say his right was not violated, I would say that if I were him, I mean, they just all because of fear or they've been dumb. That's why they just went rushing to them. Because you can't just get and go grab people and subject them. In fact, what they did, police, what they did, they endangered the Valley teller that could have led to the destruction of evidence. Listen to me, wait. And I'm going to tell you the reason. They endangered the former Chief Justice. The police headquarters, that there's a back route there where you can take people. By then allowing this thing to go public because of the fear of the public, anybody could have assassinated Valley Teller, anybody could have hit the Chief Justice. That could have been the worst thing ever for us to face. Why they didn't take all of those precautions?
Let me take my one, my show, Chief.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me say this.
Mr. Josh, here's what I want you to speak. Here's what I want you to speak to. Why was it appropriate? Why was it not selective in your mind that with all of the former fighters that live in Broadville, and all of those people who have been caught in armed robbery before in Broadville, because there's a lot of people that have been arrested for armed robbery in Broadville. Why didn't the police invite all of those? Because you will stand to reason with me that if this was an armed robbery attempt, then you go to all of the new armed robbers in the area. And Valley Teller, by all of the accounts given, has not been arrested for armed robbery before. So why did they not invite all of these people that have been involved in armed robbery and former fighters also to be people of interest and only Valley Teller? Why is that not selective?
And here's the thing. Valley Teller's name was flared by somebody.
By who?
Oh, by Council of Bordia.
Is he credible? Is he?
Listen. Hold on. Valley Teller lived in that area. They say Bafina Bono. He teaches at the school. They say
we know that. But I still say there's a lot of ex-fighters living in water too.
So when his name was flared by Council of Bordia, given his proximity in the area, the police had to question him. If any other armed robbers in that area, the police also supposed to go to them. But by what the police were doing, the police just throwing net.
Right. But the net would not call one person, so another net as a fishing hook. If there was a net, they would grab everybody. They would not throw a fishing hook.
Listen, the investigator doesn't work like that. If the CID, maybe they had talked to other notorious criminals in that area, but Valley Teller is one they went to. So going to Valley Teller, the only thing if you say Valley Teller was the team for more than 48 hours, then of course his right has been
So
violated.
why you think they want to violate
Mr.
it?
Josh, Mr. Josh, let's say this. Look, however way you splice this thing and you dice it, the police did not throw a net. The police threw a cargo at one person. That was simple. It was not a net. So are you telling me that? Hold on 1 second. Are you telling me that? Are you telling me that if I sat on this platform and I announced tonight the name of a former fighter in Broville,
yeah,
and say that person is a person they went to the councilor house, they did this, that the police will also go and call that person for questioning?
Yeah.
So if 10,000 people do it to 10,000 people, the police will call to 10,000 people for questioning.
It doesn't work like that.
So that okay, so hold on.
No,
Here's the point.
You cannot name 10,000. You cannot name 10,000 people.
Wait, Mr. George, hold on.
No, you can't.
Hold on.
You cannot.
Mr. George, Mr. George, hold on. If Jerome Ferrier can name one person and it's okay to carry that person, and Cesar can name somebody and it's also okay to get that person, and Mr. So can name somebody and it's okay to carry that person, Dr. Tuko can name
just
somebody.
speculating. No, Cesar, you speculating.
Where do we draw the line then?
We cannot dive into that.
Why can't we dive into that? Why can't we? Where do we draw the line? Where do we see it?
You supposing. That's supposition.
But that is not supposition. That is the fact right now.
Amos George, let's be fair. Let's be fair here. We need to
supposition.
That's not supposition. Supposition is Mr. George. Supposition, if it hasn't happened, we already got a method already. We already established a modus operandi. That if somebody accuses somebody and that person has been left in Broville area and that person has been known to participate in the emergency crisis, the police should go and investigate that person. That's a modus operandi already. That's an MO. So if I also follow that same path line, that's not a supposition no more. Then where do the police draw the line and say, who do we say we cannot take information from anymore?
Let's get the police has a method of operating. If they decided they saw a magnitude, they saw something that they had to top the value, they will invite anybody. No. But to say that his fundamental right was violated, no.
Mr.
Josh, can you be asking what's the magnitude he thinks the police?
That's the question I can be asking. That's the question because
let me ask George. Let me help George on the wire.
You need to help him.
Yeah, I don't think valid fundamental right was violated.
Well, not violated. That's what I'm saying.
Even so, it can be any part of the world whatsoever. If somebody, when there's a crime committed somewhere or murder or whatsoever, if somebody come up and call somebody's name in our area, that person to have that person pass, and also what the person gave a tip to the police. We can see this country, they can ask, they say, if you know anybody and whatsoever come up and give the police some information. We see this in the country of murder or crime. So if brother come up or anybody come up and give a tip to the police, I think it should leave the police to either accept that tip or move.
Was that a tip?
Mr. Toto, let me hold you there.
I use the word tip because brother came and make a public announcement.
Let me hold you there. In this country, there are things that happen and people get millions of phone calls. You even watch news will tell you that.
Yeah.
What the police never does is the police never goes on every tape that come on and go and you tell somebody to come in to answer questions. They don't do that. They do their background investigation and find out whether the tape is credible. And when they come to you, who has been, they tell you the evidence against you. Somebody said they saw you over there. They present the evidence against you. What was the evidence presented against Valitele besides some buffoon saying that on the internet and accusing the man?
The police, when Vali went to be the police, I guess the police presented.
No.
Listen to the lawyer.
No. When Vali went to the police, they question him to the police. I guess the presenter The presenters were.
The police presented an accusation. Listen to Arthur Johnson.
What is the accusation?
I just saw Arthur Johnson just lied.
But George, I can tell that from you. Arthur Johnson is the lawyer for the people. The police himself have come out against the themselves over and over. So I can't say Arthur Johnson was lying. I can't do that.
I think Arthur Johnson was just a lawyer for.
Investigator, go and watch the video.
No, Arthur Johnson is the lawyer for both Jefferson Koji and Valley Telling.
So the chief investigator said it that Jefferson.
Okay, so before we move on, hold on, everybody, hold on. Before we move on, let me ask Pastor George. Is it now in the case of Valley Telling that the police should be credible? When the police were not credible in the case where the IG went and perjured himself in front of the Liberian Senate about whether he spoke to the councillor or didn't speak to the councillor. Is this the one time that the police should be credible because it has to do with Valley Telling and that his lawyer should not be credible?
No. Listen, I'm not saying Councillor John should not be credible, but he made a statement which the chief investigator said, no, Jefferson Koji was never invited here by the police.
So you're still going back to my piece.
No.
At what point do we say we trust the police now? Because the same police, Inspector General made a statement that said he spoke to Councillor Groa Mususka. He didn't speak to Councillor Groa Mususka. He spoke to other people, and we say they can't be trusted. So we can't trust the Inspector General, but we can trust his subordinate. That's what you're trying to tell us.
I think you're missing this thing. What Vadia said, what Arthur Johnson said, what the chief investigator said. I came out. I continue to frown on Patrick Sue because I said he lied to the Senate, and I said Moses Carter also lied to the public.
But the chief investigator not lying.
No, the chief investigator came and had an interview again, and you heard me.
The chief investigator
on some of the things the chief investigator said.
But yes, okay, so yes, the one last sentence, and we'll move on to something else. Moses Carter lied. The chief of police lied. But the chief investigator is the only credible person.
No. You heard me telling that the chief investigator said some things that I'm going through is not a questionable.
But then how come now you will say the chief investigator says something that's questionable, but we want to take it over Arthur Johnson?
No. But says it. You can say some things and everything say it's not true. That
okay.
People say everything. What I want to close on, let me say the note I want to close on here is this. Did you read the press release from Glorious Scout family today?
Yeah.
I did not read it.
They said Musa Dean was present. Musa Dean was present.
Present of what?
They had an interview. Musa Dean was present.
Is that a simple press release?
What she spoke about in front of the police headquarters was just she just expanded on it.
Yes.
That she spoke to Musa Dean was present. And Musa Dean gave her police escort. Yes. And Musa Dean was there when she first interacted with. So my question has been about credibility. We can't cherry pick when somebody is credible, when somebody is not credible. But let's flip to something different in the same thing. So we're laying aside the legal piece now, and let's look at the side show that's surrounding this thing now. The side show. The craziness, because every time before you bring the corner the whole time, you can bring all kind of craziness and kind of time. We have the issue of Ledger Hu Reni, minister, who is writing to the Press Union of Liberia to try to sanction a media house because a guest called in. I don't even think Virgil was a guest that day, it was just a call in.
He was not a guest.
Because somebody called into the show and made a statement. And Ledger, who people who have been in the media for a long time crying about press freedom, has the audacity to write such a letter. That's one piece I want you to continue to consider. The next piece is this issue of suing people. Today I listened to my uncle Arthur Johnson, the most educated Kisi lawyer, and you know me that all my uncle okay me flower. He went and downloaded a Facebook post from Heron Costa and Ambassador Terry Genesis, and he says that Aaron Costa says that they need to stop Jefferson Koji or else the opposition now we're in the nutshell. And so Arthur Johnson interprets that as in to kill Jefferson Koji, and therefore that in itself is a national security threat. When has the city mayor it should become a national security threat? And therefore, he is going to sue, and he's asking our partners in progress to do an investigation and for the Liberian government to take over, here's a word, and I quote, take over the social media airspace of Liberia, whatever that means. Makisi Uncle spoken. So all of these things, these sideshows that come around, I see a danger in this.
It's not sideshow.
In that when people come out, people are trying to use this thing to infringe on free speech. Do you see it that way? Because that's when I see this thing about, Jefferson Koji going to quote, you the mayor. When you hold public office, the bar for suing people for defamation of character is high. Very, very high. I can stay here and instruct Donald Trump however many way I want. The bar is very, very high. So are these people trying to use this thing as a way now to curb free speech in Liberia? That is how I'm seeing it, but feel free to disabuse me of my thought. Mr. So, what do you think? What do you say about that?
I think it's a kind of fear and the public reactions that got them to jump into this whole thing here, because honestly, for me, I'm waiting to see Verdia, who created a dramatic scene into this whole thing here. I'm waiting for him to produce the evidence. I'm waiting. How they're going to get it, I don't know. And unfortunately, the police, they were so fast, and this is why this thing, it has to be discussed, and we can't be selective to grab pieces and parcels and we say we want to make it right and ignore other things. I'm waiting. He is more or less seems to be most like an eyewitness account, which of course he's not. He's almost like a second or third or fourth party. Whatever information he provided on the social network, it was something that is being relayed to him allegedly by someone, and then he picturing it as if he witnessed it. And to your point, Ledger ruling is sad for a minister of information to writing the press union. It's like he does not even know the very rule of the ministry that he represents, because there's a difference of having the social media to network and licensed radio stations. Where is the violation? I'm waiting to see that within the Ministry of Information Culture handbook with respect to our internet radio. Where is the violation? Because somebody came out. How many things have not been said before? So why this one year? Why makes it so unique to the extent that now he's calling? So they do these things here to kill the substance of the conversation that people really need to know and we want to know. The main battle line here, how that girl, how that child was killed, who killed that child, everybody within that area, those are the people the police needs to talk to. And they, as a media people, I don't know why they get so side attracted with these other funny thing to kind of like make us to make this whole case here to know to the extent that we don't know where it's going to end. It doesn't make no sense. I don't see why authority as press union have to kind of go is here a part of all they're going to do to suspend them. Where authority do they have to, even if you close the station down, will you close the Facebook version?
Well, is there any right to suspend to take the license of a media house because of a court?
It doesn't work unless there's a serious violation. Unless there's a serious violation in terms of the policy of the network.
Okay,
but we're acting on that just to act singly on a social media. Someone that call in and say, how many people have not called in to insult to say all sort of stuff here that you want to kind of like go strictly to and throw that one in the bucket for which you are writing the press union now? That shouldn't be the focus of the Ministry of Information. The Ministry of Information at this time should be providing concrete information to, as a government spokesperson institution, with this whole thing as the briefing or the conversation goes on with the Ministry of Justice. Should be here. Now he's distracting the entire public, the international community now, narrowing and diminishing this whole thing here to the lowest level. So, I don't understand.
Mr. Josh,
yeah.
First thing before I come to you, let me put a disclaimer out here that views expressed by Mr. Amos Josh as his views only. They are not the views of LPR TV or LPR Radio. So any lawsuit coming out is the view of Mr. Amos George and Mr. Amos George alone, and he lives in Georgia. If you want to find him, now, having said that, Mr. George, do you see that there is a concerted effort, somewhat, to make the quote unquote violation or what they call in libel of Jefferson Koji, that they are trying to use the government for Jefferson Koji personal protection, as in somebody says something that was a slander on Jefferson Koji on a network, therefore the government is going after them, and then B, Jefferson Koji lawyer is asking for the national security apparatuses and the Minister of Justice to investigate that somebody accused a mayor. Should we be using the Justice Ministry as the personal law firm of Jefferson Koji and the Ministry of Information as the personal propaganda arm of Jefferson Koji?
We should not. But this is where we find ourselves. Sissy, when I tell you that election is not rigged on the day of the election, these things don't just pop up. These are things the people discussing behind closed doors. They just use it kind of medium or event to start testing the water. I think the last time Spoon went on the air and accused some guy from Leche. And I learned the guy said he was going to sue Spoon for $1 million for defamation of character about alleging that he stole from Leche or something like that. Why do you think they're trying these things? That is the way they use to silence the media by threats of lawsuit. They want to bankrupt this institution. That's how they start. So when you think I come here, don't take it for a joke. You should not take it for a joke. You know, and Arthur Johnson, this man will come up. That was when I was saying, I said, I know Arthur Johnson will sue me because I say he lied. Because from that first press conference, I think the second one he had, that anybody that talk about the case, they will sue the person. He said anybody that talk about the case, they will sue them. So I said, okay, I don't know this guy where he got maybe he got his degree from Yale or Cornell. So he knows what he's talking about. That when anybody discuss the thing, social media, where they will sue everybody. That is the way to intimidate those people on the street. That, hey, my man, if you told the thing, they will sue you. So these are the things you see, they start peddling around. Now, Roger Wood running, Paul Roger Wood running. You know the person we're not speaking to. So Roger Wood doing this thing to impress the president. You know the person we're not speaking to. I seen it. I seen it. Then you sue me. You know the person we're not talking to him.
Is that a Eugene Fagon soundbite?
Yeah?
No, Legend will say on OKFM. He said it.
The person we're not speaking to, Roger Wood running, because they say he was not defending the government. So these are the things that he wants to show the government that, hey, George, we are on top of things. We see, we'll ask the partner to shut the airway down. Come on.
So, by the way, please be thinking about this. Your man, the leader of Bonkante ordered some people to be censuring him, but I will come to you on that piece there. Dr. Toto, President George, we are on February 28th, 2019. Signed the Abdullah Kamara Press Freedom Act. With what's happening right now, with all of the sad shows, with the Ledger Who running piece and Arthur Johnson will be suing in both in America and in Liberia. I don't know how they're going to do that about it. With all of these pieces, do you see an erosion, an intentional eroding of the Abdullah Kamara Act that was passed by George Weah that a lot of people hailed for press freedom and freedom of speech?
Yeah, definitely. So when it comes to the freedom of speech in Liberia, kind of press freedom, you know, when President Weah signed that bill of law, I think the international community itself, if you look at the Millennium Report that came out from Liberia, you know, one of the things that highlight on it, you know, press freedom. So for your information minister to come out, to try to censor free speech, I think that would be the wrong lecture running. And lecture who running is that one of the guys that just come in now for someone that been around lecture running have been a horse with the in Liberia or less in media. I think you know much better. But I think if I try to pick in the mind of lecture who running, I think he was trying to get to a certain thing, but he did not communicate the message well. What I'm looking at, look, we all when Vreda came out, well, Spoon Network. I don't know whether he called or he was a special guest.
He did call in.
He did call in. I think it was incumbent upon Spoon Network to do due diligence to question Vodia more, to get a lot of information from it, their core and pass information and sweep across the nation. We on the platform here. If somebody call and bring information here, we owe it to our audience to get incredible information to be coming out. When somebody call on the issue here, they say, oh, I hear something about John Doe and whatsoever. You don't just come and just spare John Doe, they just walk out. People need to hold you accountable for the word you're sparing or ask you that a critical question before you leave. But I think Vreda just called on Spoon Network. He make a pronouncement. He left and then Spoon Network to start debating. It will just went like a wildfire. I think maybe that's the point later on you are coming from. But maybe
so you're saying this as a professionalism piece, an ethical professional responsibility piece versus an infringement on free speech kind of
definitely
thing.
Definitely so. Maybe that what Vreda, Rachel Ronald trying to get to, but maybe the message was not communicated well.
Yes, please, just so I think Dr. Toto mentioned a very critical point, and we in the media industry, that's part of our responsibility. I see what the actions of Verdi is just innuendo, falsehood, mischief, everything there. One, you just call and say something, and I watch him. I mean, trying to get him. Hopefully, he will answer our call to come here. I did watch him on the Ashford program, and one of the panelists were really pushing. And sadly, and some of the viewers, followers, and this is how polarized the society is. And they start going at the lady, why are you asking this question? So people mind is sort of, they have a sort of perceived mind, and it's like you build that wall of Jericho. This is it, and they glue themselves to that information. And two, before I go, I'm wondering what when Jerome Verda made those accusations, which was a grave one, serious one. I'm wondering whether Spoon itself ever reached out to the Ministry of Information. Hey, this is, and that's how you're supposed to do it. Don't come. I mean, you can't just have guess in guess. News come, you receive it, when you process it, you have to follow through to the other party. But they created that sort of entertainment within a period of time because it will entice the listener first and foremost. That's something people want to hear. This is something more or less people build a mind, and they didn't do a follow-up. And they allowed Vodia to just say anything. I didn't see a really push question like what Dr. Toto said. What?
It was a call-in program.
It doesn't matter when you call in. If he calls in, he should be asked.
No. So here's the thing. Here is. I think.
Ask some questions.
Mr. George, I think when our audience members call in and they throw the tabata, they hang up their phone and they go. They've dropped their bombs. They're gone. And I think that's Mr. George's point. But I think what Mr. So, and if I got the both of you right, Mr. So and Mr. Toto was saying that the intent of the letter from Minister Rene was to talk about, look, after such an information has been laid out, Spoon TV then went on subsequent shows to continue to expand on the accusation that was made on the call-in. And I think that is where the responsibility, the ethical responsibility as journalists, again, we're all talk show people, so there's no journalists, but the ethical responsibility as a media platform to a consuming public, I think that's where they might have failed. I think that's what Mr. So is saying. I think that's what Mr. Toto is saying, if I'm getting the both of them right.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I'm saying, because Spoon Network were here, they brought another gentleman on the show, Wosi or Sheikh Sasako, and other people now. So it become a conversation now on various statement. So that's the point I try to raise,
Yeah. And so in that light, we look at in the media now, it's like a complete conspiracy now, just being, was he? Well, yeah, I hosted was it before. He was providing play-to-play narrative, how this televala kill people, this and that. And no one on our platform even asking, okay, he was doing this. What was your role? What were you doing at that time? Nobody asking. They're providing all of this and they allow it to slide, to go away. Okay, after that, did they reach out to the Ministry of Information? If they did, and the Ministry of Information refused to comment or say anything, they have to come back to the public and let them know, well, that's how you make the news proportional.
Let me ask you, no, Mr. So, hold on 1 second, Mr. Josh, 1 minute, Mr. Josh, 1 minute. Mr. So, are you suggesting that after the utterances of Councillor Verdier,
right,
using Jefferson Koji, that Spoon should have asked Minister Renee to speak on the issue of Jefferson Koji?
No, I'm not saying Koji. I'm not saying Koji. I'm talking about Verdier. Verdier is a high-profile person. He headed a very important, crucial, what they call Truth and Reconciliation Commission. He broke the news following that there without the police, without us knowing from national government, but he broke the news to say this is XYZ and provided narrative as if he was present. And I'm far my concern, he wasn't because he's in the state. Now, when you put out these things and say all of those things, the next action by the network was to reach out to the government. It's not like an ordinary caller. It's not like an ordinary caller. It's this guy who had a Truth and Reconciliation and telling us that, in fact, XYZ was going to happen, and this is the person that was doing it. So based on his standing in the community, in the public, it was the duty of the Spoon Network as well to get a version, leave with the Ministry of Information, whether they want to react or not, but then they would come back to tell the public, well, based on what we heard from Randy XYZ, we reached out to the Ministry of Information, they refuse to comment. Okay, then you put it to a rest. You make it proportional.
Let me put a spin on it and I come to you, Mr. Josh. So, and this is the last piece about the SARS show surrounding that thing, and then we'll move to something else. Councillor Arthur Johnson spoke about that he demanded, if he advocated that the opposition bloc in a group, the entire opposition bloc, should categorically denounce and distance itself from Jerome Verdier. That's one piece. Are you ANC folks willing to categorically denounce and walk away from Jerome Verdier's speech on this issue? And number two, he laid out in the framework of what Mr. So just talked about, that this is a man that headed the Truth and Reconciliation Commission that came out with findings on people that were holding credible. And if this is an example of how they did those investigations to come up with those indictment of people's guilt, can the result of the TRC be trusted? Has Jerome Verdier utterances recently put a dark stain on the credibility of the TRC report?
That question to me?
Just to you. There are two questions. One, your ANC put you run away from the
listen, Jerome Verdier is one commissioner.
Oh,
Lord. How many commissioners? 5 or 6? I don't know.
He was the head, though. He was the head.
Yeah, he was the head. But the late Chief Kafuma Kwenen, who I highly respected, was on that committee, did not say anything contrary to what they presented. They disagree on signing some document, but he never condemned it. He never argued that anything that there or manipulated by Jerome Verdier. Madam Washington is here. She has spoken.
She has countered him so many times. Madam Washington has gone.
Yeah, on the scene, Jefferson Kochi issue that was said they got some bad blood from Jefferson Kochi. So on the scene, Jefferson Kochi, Madam Washington had argued that. But none of them had come up to challenge what was said on that TRC about people that they investigated. None of them had come up to say.
Hold on, Mr. Josh. That was not a question. I think you're sidestepping this question.
Hold on now. So I said based on that.
Okay, my question to you was not about Chief Kafumba Kwenen, his actions.
Exactly.
I'm saying us as the consumers, because their report was not meant for Chief Kafumba Kwenen and Martha Washington alone. It was meant for the population. So us as the consumers, looking at the current utterances of Jerome Verdier, where he's claiming to have evidence where he can only give it to a credible government. And so if George Weah wins a second term, that evidence will be kept for another 6 years. All of these utterances without proof can, if an ordinary person sitting in my village right now is low, say this man said this thing, but this is how people investigate, the high investigator will come up with the other thing, then we can't trust that. Would that person be wrong to say that the utterances of Jerome Verdier has cast a doubt cloud on their way of accepting the TRC report?
They would be right. They would be right. Because sometimes it's the same thing we say. You look at people past, what they have done, and present. So sometimes you make an informed decision on those things. So that's why I said the other day. I said, if this case, if Councillor Jerome Verdier cannot convince or cannot prove all beyond reasonable doubt that these people he's naming, that they did this crime, and he cannot convince people to produce evidence, then I say his reputation will come into questioning. And that is the issue you're raising. So obviously, any sound-minded person will now start having a second thought. What I was done right, but because of what he's doing now, people will question now his motive at the time, what I was done properly. So in short, yes.
Well, you yourself are not questioning it?
Well, as an opposition leader, my uncle say I'm gonna denounce the man, walk away from him. You willing to denounce the man, walk away from him?
Says it. I cannot come and denounce Verdier. Verdier has his own right, and if he says something, I can speak on it, but I'm not going to condemn him. That if Arthur Johnson, who is now yelling,
the man is Councillor Arthur Johnson.
Arthur Johnson.
Councillor Arthur Johnson, get him entitled to him.
Councillor Dr. Arthur Johnson.
So,
Councillor Arthur Johnson.
I know that why we're coming happy. That's why I say Councillor, I say Doctor, you need that whole part. Go ahead and then I don't do that.
So Johnson, look, let him speak to the merit and facts of the case. He should start making this side show. Calling on opposition to do that, those are side elements of the show. The facts of the matter that somebody was killed, Jefferson Kojo was accused, or Valley Taylor was accused. Those are the issues Councillor Johnson should be looking at. But when you start going this way, a lot you're hunting for, trying to throw some fishing net. That
But Dr. Toto, real quick, the revolutionary mighty Congress for Democratic Change. When I say you, I gotta say SAO. SAO came up.
I'm part of that SAO battalion.
It came up not once but twice with the Dr. Ray. Dr. Ray. The Dr. Ray talking about this issue. So rightfully, Arthur Johnson has said that this thing has been politicized from all sides in his press statement today. And so because of that, he's urging credible people in the opposition bloc to either A, push back on Jerome Verdier's accession, or B, lose their own credibility as opposition politicians and leaders. Dr. George Toto, are you willing to shield the mistakes, if you think there's any, in the utterances of Councillor Jerome Verdier in order to protect your side, or are you transparent enough to call out Jerome Verdier and let my uncle Arthur Johnson go sleep in peace tonight? So you can only sue the one party, I don't have to sue you too.
I think Arthur Johnson, it will be so silly for any political institution right now to say they want to disassociate themselves from Jerome Verdier because the statement he made. You know, first of all, when Jerome Verdier made his statement, no political institution came out and said we support Verdier for his statement. No institution came out to say that. And then number two, the case are not even land in court. for the court to get a ruling on the case here. So what happened that way? Anybody come and make any statement to deny of Vreda. The reason why we are discussing Vreda in the situation because there was a lot of mishap that happened along the way to see where we are, including the police and everything. So even so we can come out and say, okay, we want to dim the light on the police because the police has a mishap in the case. No, they have the case. At the end of the day, the case will go to court and lawyer will go argue and a ruling will be made. Based upon the ruling that they can sit and look at point A and point B. I think my political leader, Councilor Gonglo, what the incident happened, he reached out to the CJ, and he went there from as an ordinary Liberian from that perspective to sympathize with somebody we lost a loved one or get robbed.
He has a personal relationship with her.
That's why he went there. So and that's the reason why some time ago I want to show you too.
But he also fair to mention Dr. Toto. If you listen to that interview, he went on a political storm.
Yeah, he went there. So the same. So
you know her personally, Mr. So he know her personally.
I want to show you
what I'm saying.
I want to show you some time ago. I called the president. I said, he said that the president is the father of the nation. When something that they happen, they have to take politics out of it whatsoever. When the country security system is in danger, you see fear. Everybody talking about their life. This is the time the president will speak on some of these things here, to give people the insurance in the country. So these are some of the things we see. Well, for Councilor,
Arthur Johnson.
Arthur Johnson to say, okay, people should deny or for that's a serious statement he made.
Okay, so Mr. So put a bow on this thing for us. When you brought a point up, when the death occurred, Councilor Tiawan Gonglo and a lot of LPP stalwarts went to visit Gloria Mususka, and because she has a really long, strong personal relationship with Councilor Gonglo. But beyond that, the Unity Party also made an appearance there because she is a senior member of the Unity Party, and Chief Dr. Joel Howard Taylor made a phone call to the former Chief Justice. So has this been politicized because of those things, or has this been politicized just like we saw the implosion of the CPP, where it was not the major actors that were doing the problem, but it was the foot soldiers that politicized this? Do you see this as a politicization from the top or from the bottom?
I think both sides, and all of the above are involved. And this the reason I said political stunt by your supporter was that because he made a political statement. They say, oh, if all of these things happen. First of all, when these sort of things happen, you be in solidarity because there's a death that have occurred. And we must also bear in mind, which we cannot ignore, this one is the former Chief Justice of the Republic of Liberia, a very separate branch of government. So that is very crucial. So it's obvious, of course, all of these actors, they're going to be there because while they sympathize with this situation, but I think it should have just been done like that. But the way we're seeing it now, like CDC planning to go this and that, it just creates a distraction. So the question now becomes, how many of our young people that have died in this country, like we saw the women coming in droves and all of that, how many of them have ever done that? As far as I'm concerned, for me, all lives matter. So we cannot treat things separately as if all of the other things. So what happened to the old man or the old lady down there way in the village in Grand Gita County, in Nima, in Lofa, and some of their kids go bad, something they die, and that's the end of it. So why we should get there? And I do understand people in society, their character, their involvement to also take precedence over every other thing. But the way it's being conducted, being played now, is just kind of like, it's killing us to get to the bottom line of this whole thing. They need to chill out, let the investigators do their work, and let we find out. And the question now becomes, who do we trust into this thing here? Because everybody say, okay, that evidence being tampered with, which of course a lot of things went wrong. So how can we remedy this thing? How can we get to the bottom line in order for us to say yes, justice is being said? This thing has to be, it has to be stopped. People were in the house. They should be able to tell us an account. I know they are traumatized, hey, but for God's sake, they need to tell us what went on. And that's what I'm saying. And I'm saying this to say, because there are a lot of information we are hearing. Are this information true? We don't know. The only people that can tell us, Vatican, as far as Mark was saying, he has nothing to tell us. We challenge him. The proof of brethren is within him now to tell us. We all Liberians want to know. But all of those people that were within that house when that incident took place, they need to tell us prior to that incident that week. They need to tell us whether there was a tension mounted in our house, whether there was any strange communication, anybody was threatening anybody for any reason. All of these are important pieces of information that we need to know before this whole situation occurred.
Okay.
All
that's you're right.
Let me just push back and Mr. Toll said. Let me play devil advocate here.
You always
bear in mind that every society, we are not all equal. I told you the last time, when the poor man died in the town, nobody will go to that house. But when someone died in the chief quarter, everybody ran there to show their faces so the chief can see them, to see who concerned, who care about the chief. So it comes back to national, our country. Certain cases done, we'll come on the show, we'll talk about it. You're not
I
yet
think somebody wants to call. Y'all want to put your number, and I want to use your number before we go. I think somebody want to call, but I mean, I know.
Your number is showing up on the screen.
Somebody, no, I can move that because I'm not connected to that number. But I mean, we can go on for tonight anyway.
So when that happened, this is how the society works. So you will always find it like that. We will talk about the poor people, but you will not see that amount of crowd to turn up for that poor person. But when someone was started in the society happen, you see people come out. So that's just how society works.
So
that's what I'm saying. Let me
put a bow on this thing and then we'll move on to something else. All lives matter, that's a fact. But not everybody that die get to lay in state at the Capitol. There are very few people that bodies get carried to the rotunda of the Capitol and they stay there all that time. So we can't bring my great grandmother in from Slowo to go put their body at the state Capitol. But to your point, though, Mr. So, that people in the house are not speaking to the police. I want to put a little anecdotal evidence out here in our space. When George Floyd was murdered in Minnesota, the initial police report that was even carried by the press from the police beat was that he resisted arrest and he died as a result of cardiac failure, of a heart attack, so to speak.
Yeah, cardiac arrest.
Cardiac arrest. And they tried to even put that on the fact that he was high on drugs. Mm-hmm. That was the first narrative. And so when the video evidence came out to show otherwise, people lost credibility for the Minneapolis Police Department and for the office of the county attorney. That was why Keith Edison, as the attorney general for the state, had to come in and they had to have a whole set of independent prosecutors. And so would I want to speak to the police after the police are first come out and say they spoke to Mrs. Councilor Scott, and no, they didn't speak to Councilor Scott, but then somebody said someone in the house who was a contractor that didn't go home and the woman said, no, I didn't tell you that part there, and they're talking all over the place. Would I be comfortable now going to talk to the police? Absolutely not. And that was the reason when people complain about why the woman had lawyers. I'm telling you, are you crazy? The woman had interaction with the justice minister and investigators, and a different communication came out. And by the way, to this day, Frank Musa Dean has not come out to say what the Chief Justice saying is the fact or what the action is in the whole process, right? So do you now expect me, poor old me, doing it to the Chief Justice, twisting her word? I should now go and sit down with police and have conversation with them? Absolutely not. So I think the way forward for me in this whole thing is to have new set of investigators and remove Patrick Studu from being part of this whole investigation to be able to lead. We don't call him on the phone and stuff, to be able to lead with the whole thing here. But in the media, we don't get to move on.
So where would a new investigator come from?
From Lebanon National Police. They just can't be Patrick Studu from Lebanon National Police. Go ahead, Chief.
Hi, gentlemen. Sorry.
One second. You're hearing it, man?
Yeah, Clark, loud and clear.
So we're hearing you. Don't do Jeremy further. Hold on. Don't do no Jeremy further thing here. Anything you see on the network is your own responsibility. We won't get sued by Arthur Johnson. So go ahead.
Yeah. So thank you guys. Sorry, I couldn't appear on the set. So here's the thing. You know, I find it very difficult to really understand Brother Toto and Mr. George. Yeah.
Just go to the press release.
The question he posed to them concerning Jerome Verda utterances, you know, in this whole thing. The first thing we should understand, 1 day after the murder, when we didn't even know anything, Jerome Verda appeared on Spoon. You are not called. You're sending the link. He appeared on Spoon, but he didn't come on video. He blocked his video. And then he spilled all complete garbage on Spoon. And the opposition ran with it because it was a talking point to make this government look bad as usual. You understand me? They hold to that fact. I mean, to Jerome Verda alternative fact. They hold to it. They ran with it without questioning Jerome Verda credibility when it comes to that. It was something that played in their line. And so they ran with it. At this point where George Toto and Mr. George cannot even say, look, the opposition should distance themselves from the statement of Jerome Verda because
Which
it was
started Jerome Verda in?
Your own political leader went over there and made a political statement that the government dropped the ball on this woman, the government did XYZ, and the whole thing with the brooming his hair. I think, to be very fair, when these things happen, we should do away with politics and we should look at the problem and see how we can solve it from a security standpoint.
So my brother,
my brother
Keto, let me ask you a quick question. So when Councillor Gonglo showed up and he said that the police had dropped the ball, because the responsibility of any government is first to ensure the safety of the citizen and number two, to provide for his welfare. And that when the Chief Justice had reported that she had previous incidents saying that she should have been given police protection, and henceforth the government dropped the ball. Do you see that as politicization?
As I do see that, because the police did not drop the ball. If you're really listening to the Chief Justice,
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
She said the police went around and they were patrolling. She talked to the president chief the justice minister. She talked to him, and everything as a matter of fact, the police even recommended that she gets some private security. What she gets.
So this is the point. Keto, hold on now. The point we're raising is not that the police did not go around there. Police were going around there when this thing happened. Was she assigned a police escort? But let's move beyond that, because I think
I'm just about the law.
Yeah, let's move. Let me get one more time, because he's one of our analysts. So then we'll go to the person in line. So then my other question: the utterances by the Revolutionary Coalition for Democratic Change about going to sympathize and holding 7 days mourning and all these other alternative facts about whether the lady must have been the one that murdered her child. Do you see that also as politicizing the process or no?
I do see that as also politicizing, and I will speak clearly about it. The reason is simple. When you throw one of the coalition leader on scrutiny for something that he has no idea of, what do you expect the coalition to do? Sit down and put a hand and say we'll wait until they clear the air? So they have to come out too. So that's what I'm saying. I cannot slap you politically with a heavy slap that will even blind your eye, but then you sit down and say, whether my colleague, let me get that.
So that put that thing we're doing now. We're doing okay. So Keto, you want to stay on the line? I can hold you on my line. We got somebody on George to the line. I can bring them on. Or do you want to call? You want to stay on?
I'll stay on the line.
Okay, all right, then just stay on.
Okay,
Yeah,
stay online.
Like you hear me?
You gotta put on speaker.
You getting me?
Yeah, okay, hear you. You can hear the caller?
Yeah.
Put it on speaker.
You want speaker? Okay, hear you?
You don't
Caller,
speak here.
caller, you're loud.
You can hear me?
Yeah.
We can hear him.
Much better.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, thank you. This is Elvis calling from Minnesota.
Thank you for the show, gentlemen. Hello to all of you. I just want to give Mr. Cisse some props tonight. I think he's been doing a good job moderating the show. But I want to ask Mr. George a few questions since he's a investigator or was involved with police work before. Mr. George, wouldn't it be prudent for those people to ask the security guards at the Chief Justice house? Because, like you said, the murder weapon was living in the house. How did the person escape from the house without anybody trying to apprehend him? When you have, I think they said 2 or 3 security guards that's guarding her. And then the last part is to what a guy named Jerome Verdier. In America, there's a law, freedom of speech, but you also can't yell fire in a crowded theater. As a lawyer, he should know that you can't insinuate, or inflame a sensitive situation in the country by just making outrageous claim without anything to back it. I think if he was in Liberia, that could be a disbarable offense where they can disbar him from the bar, because you see the situation with Rudy Giuliani in America where he did all that nonsense with Trump. They're investigating to disbar him because he was spreading false information. Same thing with Fox News. So the media also has a role to play. If you're spreading false news against an entity or the government, they can sue you for it. It's well within the rights. You can go to court and defend yourself. You may win, you may lose. But it's not wrong for somebody to say if you're spreading false information, they could sue you or suspend your license. That's well within some of the code of conduct for media houses. So I just want to make those quick points, and thank you for taking my call, Mr. Toto. Thank you.
Thank you. And to that point, I think the scholar brought up a salient point. I think all of this running around that Arthur Johnson doing where he was suing America or suing Liberia, I think that would have been the easiest route to go. Go to the Liberian Bar Association and see if there is a violation of ethics from the counselor in Liberia. But that is very good. Mr. Josh, you were called into
the question is he practicing in Liberia? So
but he doesn't have to be practicing for a law license.
But here's the thing.
Okay, Sisse, I have one caller on the line. Can I take the other call here?
Okay, well, go ahead, Dr.
Caller, you are on live.
Okay, my name is Martin Burke.
Okay.
I call from Pennsylvania, the United States.
Okay, thank you. Have your say.
Okay, buddy. The first thing I want us to analyze here is the vacuum between the police and the accuser, who is Jerome Verdier. Jerome Verdier is about 5,000 miles away from Liberia. And he has left that country since 2006. Based on a TRC recommendation that he came to the United States. Jerome Verdier has not been to Liberia since then. But he has stayed in this country. And he made a revelation and said the issue that happened in Gloria Scott's home. I'm from Maryland County. And I must admit to you, the issues I'm explaining to you now is from Maryland County. I grew up, I was reared all in Maryland County. I was born in Maryland County, Hoffman Station, Harper City. If Jerome Verdier can stay in America 5,000 miles away and gave a report and said, the intruder, his name is Talia, and he works with Jefferson Koji, and he works with the city corporation. What the police officers had done, the first engagement was to sort the information from the Monrovia City Corporation to engage them to say, we are looking for one Talia. But they didn't do it. All the time passed. And they coming up with a press conference. But let me tell you another thing again. Number 2 about it. The issue of Boyo business in our county. That Boyo thing. Let me tell you, I was there from my youth. I organized the program, I organized the demonstration by led David Clark to jail and Batito. All the guys went to jail. With Bidel, they went to jail and they died in prison. I organized that protest from Petoma High School. I led all the students. And I know how Boyo business works. So Gloria's cat, if somebody say maybe because of higher position that why she killed her sister daughter, it's a lie. It's a fragment. The issue of Boyo, when you're killing somebody, they gotta be alive and you cut the parts off.
Oh.
This is how we discover the children on the push infantile. They shouldn't lie here. We know the details. Nobody should come create stories.
What's the details? Sister, can you ask me?
That total.
What's it? The detail? Can you elaborate more? The another one will elaborate more on the detail.
I'm in America. I'm not in Liberia. But I'm saying in Liberia, when I was there, when these guys killed Moses Fine, so these 7 guys were hanged.
So hold on, sir. Let me put you to a point. So are you saying that the killing that occurred in Glorious Star Hall should that be taken to be as a Boyo killing?
It's not a Boyo killing. Let me let you know. It's not a Boyo killing. Do you remember we hung 7 persons on the ballot? On the gallop?
Yeah, I know that. That happened. You know
that story?
Yeah.
That Wulatino case. I follow that case. I know it.
7 persons on the ballot. When Daniel Ware was feeding that Moses Fine ball, he was home. And that boy said, I will be the last person you guys will kill. Alan Yancey.
Yeah.
This is what we got to know how Boyo behaves. I
don't know, but has anybody linked the killing to a Boyo case?
Boyo case is a black magic.
They're saying that the CJK, the league, for some reason, what people have been. From the
okay, just try to wrap it on that. Other people call it too.
Yeah, if somebody is supposed to die from your home in a Boyo case, you don't carry it to police. They never go to police. You will do that ritual, and that ritual will be performed, and you'll be caught in the act, and people will raise concern, but it will die down. That's the issue of Boyo.
Oh.
In Maryland County, and I tell you this today, the same issue happened in Preble, Maryland County, where the people burned Obachima's house.
Okay.
You know that case also?
Yeah, okay, just try to wrap it on a lot of calls coming in.
Right.
Yeah, so I just want people to understand that this issue is a police case and police intelligence.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mullenberg.
With Jerome Vordia.
Okay, thank you.
Jerome Vordia will help them with the case. That's all.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. George, I think the first caller kind of referenced you just real quick, 30 seconds.
Yeah, he said the security guard. Yes, the police supposed to interview the security guard because according to the chief state, the chief investigator said that the security guard explained to them something. So they too have the access to police. So there's no question about that. Because the chief mentioned that I must say I had a second thought I said, but the people who are interviewing the chief.
We have another caller. The call keep coming in.
Okay. They asked the chief the kind of question because the chief said that the security guard said they had to take some bar to beat the window, to beat the iron bar to open for the people to come through. And the next incident that came to my mind, do this police have picture of that window bar and what the security alleged.
So the problem we have is the police has not laid out anything about what their evidence are and what they haven't. This whole thing, the update from the police has been countering the political narrative out there. And that's the problem we're having because to your point,
Sister, can we take the caller?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Mr. George was talking so a while, but yeah, go ahead.
Hey, caller, you are all live. Where are you calling from?
Okay. How you doing, sir?
Yeah, we do okay. You can get the caller, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Hear you.
Yeah. Hey, how you doing? I got a couple of concerns. My name is Ambrose. I've always called this show. I'm calling from Kentucky. I got a couple of questions for Mr. Sese and Pak George to answer. I think he was a former police officer. I just, if anyone would get asked the former Supreme Court Justice if she can tell us if it was a male or female that she pepper sprayed, and they should get through that. Because you see, I listened to her interview at the police station. She took Mr. Very saying of the pepper spray when they asked her if it was Vavi or whatever, she pepper spray. She couldn't answer. She referred us to go ask Mr. Very to tell us more of the question to be posed to him. So it would be nice if she can tell us, the public, not me per se, because I'm not allowed anything like this, but I get concerned about labor issue, if it was a male or female that she pepper sprayed. I don't try to be sarcastic, but I know everybody says it's a male, but if she, because I think, you see, for me, because I can be honest with you, I have been pepper sprayed before, but it was not because of crime. I was just doing prostitution, and the police pepper spray to take my phone. So I know how pepper spray feels like.
You're right.
So if she pepper spray somebody, she was in a close range of the person that she pepper spray, so she can be able to identify if it's a male or female who she pepper spray.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Connor.
But I don't know how that question came to me. Hold on. I think some things we got to lay out in the public space. The Chief Justice said she pepper spray. Why are we assuming that when somebody said it's pepper spray that it went directly to the person's eyeball? You can pepper spray in the direction of people, and it don't have to be in their eyeball directly, right? The second piece is the one of the senators from Maryland County. He himself on the scene said when they entered their house, they could still smell. There was the residue of the pepper spray was still there. Was really intense. And one thing we are not taking seriously here, people keep saying if the pepper spray the person had the person left. Inspector General of Police Patrick Sudu said that if they pepper spray somebody, he can get that person water. That person can wash their face in less than 30 minutes. The pepper spray can be gone. So you remember that? That was an expert speaking on that. So for all the people that are saying, how the pepper spray somebody to run away, your Inspector General of Police just told you how that can happen.
Okay, I have another call on the line.
Okay.
Hey, call your deals and where you calling from? You on the show?
Yeah, I'm Lawrence. I'm calling from Canada.
Okay, Laura. Have you say?
Can I say that?
Yeah, I just want to make a quick. Can you hear me?
Yeah, okay, yeah, you, Laura.
Oh, okay. I just want to make a quick contribution to the show. My take is that I think Councilor avoided the big disservice, to the Liberian populace and to the kids as well. I didn't believe most of the things he was saying. It just couldn't be true. You have to be on the scene to narrate a story like that. And this is a criminal activity. And I'm not a CDC supporter. In fact, I'm an opposition supporter. But we're talking about the death of this individual. We want justice for her. For me, everybody in our house is a suspect. And what Councilor Valia said, if we have proof, fine, then the gentleman could be a suspect as well. So we have to be very, very careful. The narrative that, Councilor Scott's daughter has passed away, everybody's saying that's fine. But we should remember that she's not even the daughter of Councilor Scott. Her daughter survived. Somebody else's daughter died. So there are two individuals. The fact is that one person died, which is confirmed. There's another person who's injured in a hospital. Those are facts. Whether there was somebody in the house, we don't know whether they are true. Whether somebody came through the window, we don't even know whether that's true. It could be false. But the facts, as it's being established for sure, is that somebody died and another person got injured. So definitely there was an altercation. We don't know who was involved. It could well be that the two individuals, one died, one survived, could have been in an altercation. So the case being politicized by both sides is a complete disservice to the criminal justice system. Because we all know that these guys are afraid. And given the political atmosphere in Liberia, how would the police be free to even do their job? Right?
Okay,
Position on one side, voting establishment on one side, and everybody taking side. You know, so I believe that the individuals in the house should be held accountable. They should provide some information so that they be held accountable.
Okay, Kora, thank you.
Thank you. So real quick, because I think we're getting close to closing time. I think we've beat this horse almost to death. We saved a little bit more life. But real quick, there's something that came up and I wanted for my people to speak about.
Let me take that last call. The person keep calling.
All right, Dr. Dodo.
Yeah. I'll be back in 2 minutes, Sissy.
Okay.
I'll be off the screen, just so you know.
Yeah, go ahead, Dr. Dodo. You pick the call.
Okay, Kora, you are on the show. Call your why you calling for? You are live.
Yeah, man. I want to leave my name like that for now. But it's a good show.
Why you want to leave your knee like that?
We're calling that knee again.
The caller gone?
Dr. Dodo, you're on mute.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, my thing is, I understand that, we all saying we're playing politics with the case, but we're making political statement also concerning the case. But my concern is, why is it that since, in my experience at least, every government that came to power, why is it that the particular government is a government that have been accused consistently concerning death of Liberians? Almost every death that come to public notice, it have been a death of allegation from someone from the government or the government itself or something. And it have been consistent. That have been my concern in these cases. I understand somebody would say it's politics and all of that, but
okay,
to be a Supreme Court justice in a country, you must be somebody of a high moral integrity. And besides that, she has been the senator. She has been so many positions. She had a National Election Commissioner. So this person in particular, she have no question when it comes to integrity. So I don't think it's somebody that exactly we're going to be questioning here concerning such a thing. But thank you for the opportunity, okay?
Okay, Kora, thank you.
Thank you. So real quick, I think the last caller is trying to say not all roads should not always lead to the CDC, all murder roads, that we keep drawing these lines. Somebody sneeze and they fall down. And Mr. Keto, my brother Keto has made an analogy to that. Somebody sneeze and they fall down and you blame it, you tie it straight to CDC and the government. Somebody get malaria tomorrow, they die. Say, oh, that CDC mosquito, but that person would get malaria from CDC mosquito. So I think that's the point that caller is getting at. But real quick, Mr. Josh, your guy is in the news. Your bon country, the guy who owned bon country.
Yes. Sister, I have another caller on the line.
But let this be the last caller.
This will be the last call. Okay, caller, you on.
Yeah. Thank you for taking the call. My name is Teddy Ted Lion Yankon from Far North Dakota. Yes. That we established that, within the building there, the little girl, the moment in which she was killed, it was like a ritualistic killing. You understand that? And if we
hold on. Can you ask him? Did he say it has been established that it was ritual?
Yeah. Are you saying that be established? It was a ritualistic killing?
From my opinion, from my point of view, from the look of things, that girl, the woman have been planning to.
Let me model this thing here.
Yeah. Hold on. Let's take it step by step because we have to get information correctly.
He said his opinion that the murder looks ritualistic, or is he establishing that the murder is ritualistic?
Okay, I will agree with you. Let's say the murder looks ritualistic.
Okay.
Is it your opinion, right?
Because okay. Because the guy was stopped seven times, and from the autopsy, from the whatsoever, they would check that. They will give all the reference information. But however, they have been trying to take away evidence. But we need to pay for advance autopsy and a good report that so we can know what actually how the girl got killed. And those people that were there, and as I learned, one of the senator from Bombay County was there. And what's his name, brother Aaron denying that he never meant that. He only did that just to create awareness. He said,
which senator for Bombay County was there?
Which senator from Bombay County was there?
Maybe I may not pronounce his name well, but I'm going to say Ketoma.
Satoma.
No, that Maurice Satoma.
Maurice Satoma.
So Maurice Satoma was there?
He was there?
He was in the building in the building at that time.
So where did you get the information from? Where did you get the information from?
From our source.
Your source?
Jerome for the source.
Freedom Radio and was saying that, and that evidence was coming from Gilman, from his source on Freedom Radio today.
From Michael Gilman, coming from Michael Gilman show. So let's move on.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm not just saying it is the show on today. Okay, just the way it's said it, I want to say it.
Senator Morris Satoma was in there according to your source. Okay, Connor, just try to wrap it up. We are going again.
The girl, the man in which they killed the little girl. Okay, what I want you and I to agree with, this is another from a tie-on story.
No, can I agree with you? We can't agree with you, Jack.
I can't agree with you. Don't tell me you and I can't agree with you.
I want for us to agree with.
Y'all put that call up. Let you wrap up and then we'll move on.
For Jerome border, for the government to react on Jerome border, and also to, if the woman is anybody that will be culpable, including the justice minister, is in cahoots with Jerome border and the lady. That's ridiculous. So I myself personally, I support this president. Okay, I am calling President. We should suspend that justice minister now or start people fire. The Labrador no longer confident with that justice minister. More especially over this particular case. The justice minister cannot be a justice minister for the next 2, 3, 4 months in the Republic of Liberia.
Okay,
what I will also agree with that we Liberians in general.
Let's try to wrap it up.
Those people that will be coming for the Liberian police just try our best. Those that will be coming for should be according to the law.
Okay, Connor, thank you. Now 5 seconds. Try to wrap it up.
Yeah. So I don't want to be that much angry with the whole situation, but I understand that this situation is no longer a partisan stuff. So I want in the matter, I want to strongly agree with my chairman, Nobake Molu Jr. We believe you. You're not like other chairmen that just on social media say the body for the party, but you do your groundwork, you do what you want to do. Every statement of my.
Okay, let's move on. So real quick, LPR.
Yeah, okay. So Connor, thank you now. Okay.
Because I'm the host tonight.
All right.
LPR-TV, LPR Radio, LPR platform.
That should be the last call that I read because I don't want to keep coming in.
We're not responsible for the comments of the caller. Those are their own views expressed. LPR-TV, LPR Media has not verified that Senator was in the house, or that the Minister of Justice is in who with anybody.
Sister, I bet that took the guy here, bet.
No, yeah, I wanted to lay a disclaimer out here for after what that guy said about.
Okay, this is the last quarter. Yeah. This is the last call, yeah.
I just make a call and the guy is trying to spam my call.
No, we can't have back-to-back call. I thought there was a new call coming in. Very say your point.
Yeah, what I was trying to say
just
is,
2 seconds.
Yes, what I was trying to say is, I said that every time somebody died of a death from the government, they always accuse the CDC government or people within the government. So I'm assuming that where there is fire, there is smoke. There's no way the government can be too far from most of the killing, or at least one or two of them. Because in Liberia, it's not normal. It's not normal for them to always accuse a government of killing people. So what I'm trying to say here is, if you follow the scenario around the allegation of the gentleman that was accused by the data, and the concern and the energy and effort that the government have put into the case, you can say something from somewhere that is not correct. So I don't want to sit here and say that the justice or former justice star have anything to do with this, because how a lady would do such a thing when she is not anywhere in the government position.
What I take you?
So real quick,
I'm taking a question. I'm taking a question. Another call coming here. I'm not taking a question.
The point I was trying to make here.
Sister, the point you're trying to make. Sister, let me take him up and see whether I can get him back. Just bear with us. I think we are kind of out of time here, or out of the time here already. Let me see. Let me just get him up, and then probably he can come and do the wrap up now. Okay. But tomorrow, while Sister coming back, tomorrow we're going to be having a group of Liberian in the diaspora. They call the All Liberian Diaspora Dual Citizen should present Dual Citizenship Victory Celebration. Okay, I think, okay, Sister is back. We'll be having a group tomorrow, but let's Sister take it away before we close.
Yeah, so real quick, like I was saying, the views expressed by our callers are their views and their views only. They do not represent the views of LPR and LPR-TV. We at LPR have no evidence and that Senator Maurice Shutoma was at the scene of the crime, and neither do we have any evidence that there is a collusion between Minister Frank Musadin and Jerome Verdier or the former Chief Justice. Now, having said that, let's wrap this up with our stuff. I think I don't know what happened to my network. It dropped earlier. Mr. Josh, I'm going to give you a longer time to wrap yours up because I want you to talk in the light real quick of what happened with the guy who owned Bonkande. He's beating people for trying to because the person came at him and he is a state person, and so anybody comes too closer to him, he has the right to order people to beat them. Did you follow that story?
Yeah, about the land issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, we put last on something that I followed it.
Yeah, he had a press interview where he was trying to quote the article that says they should not be hindered while they are in session. Therefore, if he's using somebody's land as a road to go to a house, that person cannot close that place because that person hindering him from going to his job. Therefore, it's a violation of the Constitution. I just wanted to put it out there because you man, so you can talk about it if you want to, and then wrap it up your last thing, and then let's try to get out of here.
Look, sister, let me say this. Mervyn told this guy's a pathological liar and a criminal. I say so. This guy put a clinic that he said was in his district. Somewhere there. Last time the people are demonstrating, the time he said there's no clinic here. When my brother accused him, he went to court with all the kind of thing. He pulled the first he pulled 50,000, he took that one. This time he pulled 25K. When Mama Bree saw it, she wanted to talk, he jumped on Mama Bree. His own people now showing, they say no district, no clinic in the district yet. We don't know what the man talking about. But to that issue, I saw him that day, he was live. That the person has no right. In fact, the man should go and contact the Minister of Public Works and Land Authority. So I said, wait now. You are the person in authority. People will quickly respond to you. Why can't you call the minister and the land authority people to come? But you're telling this poor man to go and get the people to come verify whether the land is for him. And he said there were people around the man. I know the man told his son to what, and somebody had called it. So he told his security people to move. Talking about, I represent millions of people.
Yeah, I heard that part.
What kind of nonsense is that? You represent represent a district, what making millions of people? Then 10,000 people you represent. Then you talk about millions of people. And nobody can obstruct your movement while the horse is in section. These are the kind of things people doing, this guy doing in the country to destroy the country. But Mervyn Cole, I said, this guy for me, I cannot stand Mervyn Cole. He's arrogant and rude. You remember in Moreover, there's a press guy that parked in front of a horse and he ordered to beat that guy and he left. They see Mervyn Cole?
Yep.
Yes. So this guy is a pattern. This guy having, he abused.
I think this guy got a beef with Mervyn Cole.
Oh yeah, but I want to put it other than anything. When you know how to do my moderation,
This guy is abusing the power that people are entrusted to him. But I can't blame that poor boy. I blame Joel Howard Taylor. She brought a man to permanence, and the guy insulted Joel Howard Taylor. This Mervyn Cole guy.
So there is a guy running for that seat. We're trying to bring it out here. Called Stand Up Abajua. He's a young guy running against Mervyn Cole. We're trying to bring him on the network to interview him one of these days.
Yeah. So that's Mervyn Cole. Very arrogant, rude. Don't respect anybody. Take the law into your hand. You play on someone's property, allegedly. Go to court. But why you order people to beat somebody as a certain lawmaker? This is absolutely just wrong. And let me just close on the whole saga around this glorious country here. People are asking whether the woman can identify the person, whether that man or woman. There are certain instances we don't know whether the person wore a mask. We do not know whether the lights were on. And sometimes people are put in a position, many times they'll tell you, say, they can't recognize the person. And one thing people should remember, it's not easy to identify a robber.
This is the female caller. She's there calling, man. You know, let them give her the
You see, I thought to problem when you say female caller, now then we say let them call. You say problem.
You can't with anything.
Now I would be the bad man. I would say no to the female caller.
That's a race car right there.
Yeah, you know, I mean,
that bring the female caller on.
Okay, you want like 30 seconds. We're very close. That's what you want to say. Okay. Cecilia. Yeah. You have to load down the monitor for yourself.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay, then I get turn down.
Okay. Hello.
Okay, you all right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
People can hear me?
Yeah, we hearing you. They hearing you.
Okay, my name is Cecilia. I'm speaking from Philadelphia. Cecilia Willie. I'm speaking from Philadelphia. We are women. We get feeling for people. Man, that lady is very traumatized right now. And they say a whole lot of things on her name. What about it's not true? Okay. Kevin Fordia came out, he didn't call nobody name. Besides they poor, what he did, Taria. Fadi Taria. And when he came out, he said a lot of things that people came and they prove it. What else the people want for them to do now? What else? Why they can't hold the Fadi Taria and carry him and start to ask a question? The police just beating around the bush. Everybody beating around the bush. Because they on the woman. Look out, police and go kill the woman and kill that girl. Huh? Funny the course because Jerry not in the corner, but Jerry know the man attitude. And other people came out and said the same thing. They said the man being a carrier from what I mean, just all the way. What the people can't think? And the kid people talking, Jerry will say, do you know what they are saying?
Sister, can we tell us 5 seconds on where to go? Yeah, what
I'm saying is the pepper spray. The man saying he didn't go to his daughter play because he had her thing. Then he can't make it himself. You know he was naked when he went in the poor place. And then after squashing, people show everything, man. Police people, what you people are doing?
Okay, Sister, thank you. Get your point.
Yeah.
We're supposed to naked it, man, because Jerome Verdia says, you know
what? Hold on, Sister.
Mr. Ketter. No, I ain't got a question for us. Okay, she can go.
She's saying that I think the killer was scratched and there, so they should see her naked there.
But even the counselor whose house it happened in has not said anything about that. We just go naked people because Jerome Fredia said on platform.
I know what she's here taking for your point.
I don't think that's so.
Yeah,
So, what?
Thank
Thank you. Welcome. I said, thank you. Let's bring Wilton Ketter on. Mr. Ketter, please give us your closing. Chief.
Thank you for even lashing out on that call because it's outrageous here. But this is the thing. The last topic you put up on Senator. I think it's very despicable for anybody to think that they above the law because they hold senatorial position to take advantage of other citizens in the country and make statements that resemble those statements back in the days, when the military took over and they walked down the street and say, you know who I am, you know who am I, and all that kind of stuff. I think it's outrageous. I think like Jerome should sit down now and try to review some of those laws those senators made in their own favor. This is the very country. I don't care what the policy. Jarrett don't do the same thing. All of them do the same thing in that place. They feel that they are God, they are gospel in their country. And I think it's sad. You are a servant of the people. You are a listen to there's a video that's trending around on social media. This guy was asking one of the senator or congressmen for the war in Ukraine. And the way that boy expressed himself, you were just getting a little bit loud. I want to between the ball. But he expressed himself. You can't do that in Nigeria. You were last night to beat you up because you think you're not enough. But you are servant to me. I'm your boss. I employ you to work. You can't dictate to me. You can't sit down and say, I can drop a thoroughly and nobody can come there. You can't tell me, say, I can't go to the Capitol daily and express myself. Even when they eat section, people can go there and express themselves responsibly and they should be able to be heard because that's the people's house. I mean, it's just outrageous. And I don't care whether your party support CDC. I think you have to sit down and think about it before you put it out there.
All right. Thank you, my brother, Mr. Ketter. Dr. Josh, Dr. Toto, rather, what's your closing?
Yeah, my closing on the show, on the point that, for me, as I believe that the police, there are still good people in the police. There's part of a lot of mess up along the way for the kids there. But as I believe that the police will handle the kids in the appropriate way, whoever will be the suspect will be sent to court and will be prosecuted. As I believe in the police. There's part of the noise they messed up from the crowd, from the public, the public opinion, everything, By the end of the day, I do still believe that still get a lot of good people in the police and will handle the case here the way that we think it need to be handled for all the politics.
Thank you. Mr. So, I'm about to sign off. My closing,
No, you were closing on now. Let me.
Oh, I thought I come and tell you what to you. Okay, go ahead.
No, okay. You've been driving. It was one wastewater net.
Yeah, they play with plastic.
First thing, thank you so much, and thank you, you the guys, for everything here. Look, I'm sorry to say, media, there's no sentiment. When we come to this issue, it's not about ourselves. I know you have for people to control emotion, people's lives involved. But when we come here, even your panelists, your analysts, your hosts, we are here to present it as it is. So, and like you rightfully said, we just facilitate this hardcore conversation, but we do not control the saying of the people. And as you rightfully put it, it does not represent this network. I want to thank you so much. But tomorrow, guys, quickly, I just put a flyer up. We're going to be having a group in the first phase tomorrow. Dual citizenship celebration. What is it all about? So, people that are in it, they're going to be at Dr. Tobot, we are other group of
I got an invitation for them. I think they said that.
So we're going to be having it here tomorrow. I want to vote. Many of us want to vote. So what are we really celebrating?
Our coming says some people gotta let the people know, public know, conflict of interest. But me, I say nothing.
Yeah. So look, I think, and lastly, before you go, I was very much impressed last night. I was listening to around 1 o'clock, Freedom FM. There's a guy, one Mohammed Kamara, Crime Stopper, they call it Kapow Show, Crime Stopper. He was on, there was an armed robbery that was going on live in Soul Clinic. And this person called into the program, and that's how he called the police, and police, they were able to make a prompt intervention, and they were able to save that life. In fact, the woman called. So, I mean, yeah, these are some informative, educative program. It almost reminds me like John Walsh and other people here had to grab people. But I managed to talk to him today, and hopefully I'm trying to get him so we can invite him here because that's very, very much educated. He really saved a life last night. He now be on that program for them to call in and he to call police, and police were able to go on the scene. I think that was a very good thing. Thank you so much.
Well, my closing is that I think Mr. So intentionally made me the host, so I can't say plenty things. So I got to be able to do by Josh, then to thought that thing.
You sure you're not all?
It has been great. I appreciate the opportunity to steer the conversation with these great minds, and appreciate all of our callers, all of our listeners. We say thank you for those people that are watching us from Liberia. It is very late, and you are up burning your data to listen to us and watch us. And I hope we have not disappointed you in any ways. Again, thank you for watching LPR TV. We say thank you and good night. Take care, gentlemen.
Soyons sensibles, tout le monde sera admis, même le dernier de la classe. La mort est un examen auquel tout le monde participera. Soyons sûrs, tout le monde sera admis, même le dernier de la classe.
From the New England Bureau of the Liberia Public Radio, want to interrupt this interlude of music to bring you this obituary announcement from our obituary photos of the Liberia Public Radio. The late Honorable Moses B. Kangbe Sr. passed away on February 15, 2023 in Westboro, New Jersey, United States of America. He was 70 years old. The late Moses Kangbe was born December 28, 1953, to the union of Mrs. Yao Kangbe and Mr. Zul Kangbe in Kanglit, Babli District, Lower Nema County, Republic of Liberia. He leaves his wife widowed, Mrs. Rachel Z. Kangbe, 14 children, 26 grandchildren, 5 great-grandchildren, his brothers, sisters, and hosts of relatives and France, in Liberia, to USA, Europe, and other parts of the world. The late Moses B. Kangbe Sunion wakekeeping is expected on Friday, March 10, 2023 at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in Walboro, New Jersey, United States of America. Viewing of the body is at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Service starts at 10 a.m. Eastern in Walboro, New Jersey, United States of America. The mortal of the late Moses B. Kangbe Sunion is expected to be flown in the West African state of the Republic of Liberia. Wakekeeping in Liberia is March 22nd, 2023, followed by funeral service and interment in Cambridge, Nima County, Republic of Liberia. This announcement was brought into Liberia Public Radio by Mr. Moses M. Kangbe, called on behalf of the family. All right, well, folks, we want to say big thank you for your time this evening, this morning, this afternoon, depending on your location. Thank you so much for your commitment to this network. That's another way to show support. If or you have a public service announcement, you have a business you want to showcase, we can advertise here. We don't just want to come and ask you, give up money without exchange, without giving something in return. We need to create a sort of barter system. Yes, we want to ask, but we also want to give a service to you. So be it conventions, anniversary, birthday, we shouldn't just own it graduation, family reunions, organizations, conventions, and all of that. There's a need that we create a milestones in what happenings, daily happenings on a daily basis. So you have anything of such BA here in Liberia and in part, share that information and we have the ability to showcase. If there's no way, we will find a way out. If we can't come there, there's a way that we can do it to get it done. That's not something you need to worry about. All you have to do, let us know. We can provide you the service for those of you involved in multitudes of role businesses from here to Liberia, other part, and even right here. Let us know. Now we will advertise your business. You can be a sponsor. That's what we want to do. We don't just want to be doing like a Omen Baker give. If you give to us, we must give to you. That's what we believe in. And that's the sort of systems we are trying to put out here. We want to thank you so much. We know how difficult it is talking about national issues, people, personal feelings, emotion. But this sort of conversations is not sentimental conversations. We need to be honest because it's about the future, it's about the directions of our country, but we know how the country has been polarized politically. However, we need to keep it more professional and proportionate. The sessions, people way of thinking and just interpret laws into their own mind, into their own comfort zone. That's not what we do here. So sometimes we say things that will be very uncomfortable because it does not move in your direction. We do understand that. But we appreciate you. You come here every day. You can challenge some of our talking points. That is okay. But we just want you to know the drama is so much. There's no need to add up to the already fuse on the ground. So when we come here, we try to discuss these issues, not on our personal basis and not what we feel as an individual because of our political interest. But we must think about Liberia. What is going on? We already want to know what happens. We can't keep having these things going on and on and on without resolution. People should be held accountable of their doing, no matter who you are in society. No one should be above the law. We're seeing it here, the former president, vice president, they've been subpoenaed, high-profile government official. We saw the former secretary of state, former presidential hopeful, went before the House to testify. Those are things we're supposed to be doing. Not our feelings. If we are talking about our personal homes, that's a different thing. But please, when we are discussing about Liberia, think about you are talking about a 15 sub-political division, people with different background, different thinking, different political ideology, social ideology, everything involved. So it's not about your personal self, how you think it to be. Before the law, there is no circumstantial evidence. When the law kicks in, they are talking about evidence, hardcore evidence. You have to prove it. It's not just sitting and say it and you can't prove it. And we hope Mr. Verdier, as a reputable guy, he presided over a consequential group, the TRC. So this is not just going on to it puts the credibility of the very institutions that he chairs. The proof of Biden lies within him. He needs to do that for the good of the country. What are you, not for CDC, not for opposition, but for better Liberia, so that we would know people, someone, or who are accountable, because he was very definitive. He was very crystal clear in his argument. This guy did it, and he needs to, if you can't give it to the police or whatever, we have the international community. Release the evidence to these major news institutions. We have Washington Post, other news outlets. That's what people do. But if you say you want to hold it onto your chest until real government, I don't know which one is the false government, which is the real government, what happens when CDC wins the election? So they want to wait for another 6 years or wait for another 12 years? I think that is unfair to the Liberian people. So your credibility is on the line. Do us a favor. If you can do it, you can pass it on to Uncle Sam, ECOWAS, and other people. We need to know what happens at the former Chief Justice residence. You seem to have a little good knowledge, idea what went wrong. You are privileged to have those information. We have not had it. There are a lot of information coming in, but we are not going to get into conspiracy theory and make up information, make up news because we want people to listen to us. That has been dishonest, that has been unfair. It just helped to exacerbate. We're not going to be into a guess game. Sources, it must be at least 3. So the misuse of, misdeployment of word by other news outlets or so, that's not what we do here. We like to speak to it, and we hope that sooner or later you will provide the facts for the good of our country so that these issues to be put at rest. It has created distraction. We need to focus on the election ahead. That is not happening because of all of these rare me soundbite that is coming. Until then, have a pleasant evening. Bye-bye.